Welcome back to day 2 of the Copilot Control System Digital Deep Dive. My name is F.A. Bugo. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager on the Copilot Control System team. I'll be your host for today, and I'm so excited that you're here to join us. I hope you're ready to dive back in and explore how we are working to empower IT admins and security leaders with an integrated system of controls to secure, manage, and measure Copilot and agent usage across the enterprise. Today, we have a packed agenda for you, covering topics like lifecycle management controls, measuring and reporting AI impact, and driving sustained adoption with proven user enablement strategies. Our first session is going to dive into Copilot agent and management controls. Managing agents at scale requires thoughtful planning and cost control. In this session, we'll explore how the CCS system enables IT to stage rollouts, manage pay-as-you-go costs, and govern agents through the new Agents and Connectors page. You're going to walk away with actionable insights and best practices for managing agent lifecycle and aligning usage with business needs. I'm really excited to welcome our two speakers, James Bell, a product marketing leader focused on Copilot agent lifecycle management and admin experiences, and Ganesh Krishnamurti, an engineering expert in scalable agent deployment and governance. Over to you, James and Ganesh.
Thanks very much, FA. Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is James Bell. I'm a Director of Product Marketing in our modern work organization in Microsoft 365, and I'm joined by Ganesh. Ganesh, would you like to do a quick intro?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Ganesh, and I work in the M365 Admin Center, working on agent management.
Fantastic. We're very excited to be with you today to talk through everything Copilot agent management and controls. As this is the first session of the second day, I thought we would just get back into a bit of a recap around the Copilot control system for those of you that may have not seen any of yesterday's session. So the Copilot Control System is a set of tools designed for IT professionals to better understand and manage AI within their organization. It's comprised of 3 pillars. First, security and governance. Your data is secure within the Microsoft Security Trust Boundary, ensuring compliance and protection at every level. Second, management controls, and this is what we'll be diving in today. Technology empowers people to create what they need to work. We've built powerful controls to help you manage AI sprawl within your company, ensuring the right people have access to the right tools and that we're using them as intended. And third, management and reporting. This helps you understand and track usage, adoption, and the business impact of Copilot and agents within your organization, which we are calling Copilot Analytics. And to focus on this session, the CCS management controls will enable you to determine how your Copilot licenses and agents are deployed to meet the unique needs of your organization. Copilot and agent management controls are found primarily, but not exclusively, in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, often referred to as MAC, the Power Platform Admin Center, and also Copilot Studio. So before we dive in, let's ground ourselves on the types of agents and the personas who create them. There are many different ways we can think about agents, and I find it best to start with the function of what agents can do and map those functions to the tools needed to create, then manage them. Let's start with the simplest agent type that retrieves information. By now, we're all familiar with this model in terms of how we interact with Copilot and other generative AI solutions, where you ask a question and expect an intelligent response. Agents in this category are scoped to provide answers grounded or based on a specific set of data, which differentiates it from the AI solutions we use today. Think of this as an agent scoped to provide answers only from Microsoft 365 Copilot. You'll hear us talking about these simple retrieval-based agents that you can use information available to them from Copilot and your Microsoft 365 tenant. Task-based agents take actions when asked. Instead of receiving a single response from a retrieval agent, task-based agents go one step further to use information with Microsoft 365 Copilot or a custom engine to perform a set of actions based on a query. Think of this as using an agent to perform a task based on a customized flow developed by a person within your organization that understands your business. In Microsoft terms, we call these people makers. Finally, we have autonomous agents that operate independently. They build on the simplified flow of task-based agents and can dynamically plan, interact with other agents, and learn on the go. These advanced agents require more expertise to develop and use and are highly customizable. In the near future, we expect organizations to be using a mixture of these agent types integrated with the workforce to improve productivity and change the world of work as we know it today. So let's now frame what we've learned in terms of the tools available to create retrieval tasked and autonomous-based agents. Agent Builder is your home for creating retrieval-based agents. You can think about Agent Builder as creating these type of retrieval agents only, which are based on knowledge from your Microsoft 365 tenant and any connectors you use to interact. Once admins provide appropriate permissions, you can allow users to create agents using Agent Builder from Microsoft365.com/chat, the Microsoft Teams desktop and web client. These agents can then be used in Copilot Chat. Copilot Studio is used for those task-based agents and are created by those makers in the organization that understand business processes. Once Microsoft 365 admins assign permissions to the Power Platform Admin Center, admins can then set up environments necessary to create these agents that comply with your security, compliance, and governance policies. Lastly, the tools needed for autonomous agents are more developer heavy. Think Copilot Studio and Azure AI. As you can see, there's a lot of agents and administration required to manage and support them. And this is where the Copilot Control System comes in. As we continue to build and evolve the Copilot Control System, it's important that you understand how we think about our commitment to IT admins to give you the confidence and capabilities to move to a new world of work. Firstly, we commit to making the Microsoft 365 Admin Center the home to manage agents throughout Microsoft 365. We continue to build out capabilities to make this commitment a reality, ensuring that admins have a clear line of sight to what agents are available in your environment. We also commit to develop capabilities for AI to meet admins in your flow of work. This will mean that you can expect to see admin controls outside of the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, such as in the Power Platform Admin Center for maker-specific controls. It's a necessary way for agents to be administered and configured that respects role-based access, security, and governance controls. It's unlikely that the pace of change is going to slow down anytime soon, and it's important that IT admins are given appropriate notice of capabilities enhance or affect your environment. Our engineering teams are optimizing their processes to provide more notice of capabilities and posting these to the Microsoft 365 public roadmap and to Message Center for the Microsoft 365 Admin Center for items that affect your existing configuration. So with that intro out of the way, I'd like to hand it over to Ganesh to actually walk us through some of the product improvements that we have in the Copilot Control System management. And with that, Ganesh, I will hand it back over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James. And good morning, everybody. Good evening, and from wherever folks are joining in from. Super excited to be a part of this presentation and the opportunity to share about all the great work that's happening in the Copilot Control System to help you, the admins, be able to govern, manage, the agentic world. So we'll get started first with our first slide, where which sort of tells you about what our focus for today is going to be. It's very much on the management pillar of CCS or Copilot Control Systems. And I want to be able to cover, sort of 4 topics that are integral for you to getting set up and getting started across the M365 Admin Center. So firstly, we'll start with how, we'll cover cost management, basically allowing you to to set up pay-as-you-go services for unlicensed users so that they are able to take advantage of the power of the agents that others have created in your organization, and then followed by the steps that admins should be aware of when assigning role-based access for the Copilot Control System. And then once you're all set up, we'll turn to the steps that an IT admin needs to take to enable Copilot access to users and makers in M365. And then we'll review the list of current and planned capabilities that are both available today and are soon to be released. So as we move to the next slide, so I'm not going to drain the slide entirely, as we will be covering Copilot pay-as-you-go in much more detail later on. But for those of you for whom this is the very first look at the Copilot Control Systems, just know that IT admins can now enable pay-as-you-go for Copilot Chat directly from the M365 Admin Center. There's no hopping around to others, other places. It's all available right there. Copilot Chat is free to install, and with pay-as-you-go billing, your organization pays only for what it uses. So once billing is set up, you're one step closer to accessing Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. Great. With that said, we'll move on to the next slide. Back at Ignite, we introduced the AI admin role in the M365 Admin Center to help organizations manage the anticipated growth of agents in the workplace. We started out with a set of foundational capabilities in the AI admin role to manage Copilot, including the ability to pin Copilot Chat, view relevant reports, and create and manage support tickets. We are continuously working to enhance the AI admin role, and coming in June, we are pleased to announce that we will be increasing permissions to include the management of agents, including both approval and denial in both the integrated apps as well as the newly introduced connectors tab, agents and connectors tab, and the ability to work more with graph connectors. So if you haven't already taken a look, take this as your signal to start planning to assign the AI admin role as needed in your organization. And now let's get started with agent management with a short video, which I hope is going to energize you about some of the features that we've developed.
To agents, you told us what you needed, and we kept it simple. Here are the top 4 updates we've made. Number 1, agent access for your organization. This option's been around, and now it's even easier to get to. Before, you went to Settings, Integrated Apps, Available Apps, and select the gear icon. Now, it's easier to get to. Copilot, Settings, Agents. From here, you can turn agent access on or off for everyone, or limit it to specific groups or individuals. Simple. Number 2, agent list. You asked for an easy way to see all the agents your team has built and shared. Previously, you could find it under integrated apps by using the Copilot filter. Now, it's right at your fingertips. Copilot, agents and connectors, agent inventory. From here, you'll get a quick view of how many agents you have, plus agent details, install counts, and more, all in one place. Number 3, limit access. Some agents just aren't meant for everyone, like one built specifically for HR. Now it's simple to set those boundaries. Go to Copilot, Agents and Connectors, select the agent, and choose who gets access. And finally, number 4, usage stats. Wondering about how much agents are being used? No problem. Just go to Reports, Usage, Microsoft 365 Copilot, and then Agents to see the detailed stats for declarative agents. All this is live now in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Go check it out and see how much simpler managing agents has become. And this is just the beginning. More updates are on the way to help you get even more out of Copilot agents.
All right, awesome. And apologies for folks who might have had we had some initial audio glitches, but effectively the video is conveying the excitement and all the great work that the team has done to make sure that agent management is simpler, more upfront, more usable, more discoverable for all of our users out there. So we'll get started. I'll just start, talk a little bit more details around what's been rolled out in the space. Staged agent rollout, we'll start with that. So we now have a tenant level setting that admins can use to actually stage their rollout of agents across users and user groups, right? The default value for this is set to all users. However, like I mentioned, users and admins can go and specify which group of users you want to go and enable, the agentic experience for. The settings are found under, the Copilot Control System, under Settings, and basically Agents. That's the setting that you want to use to control your rollout. This is generally available for everyone to take a look at. Moving on to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit more about agent inventory and details. So this is one of the things that all our admins have asked us for, which is, how do I make sure that I understand a lot more about, these agents and the agents that are available? And so the right place to go here is the new Agents and Connectors tab that is introduced in the Copilot Control Systems, where you will be able to see a list of an inventory of all the agents that are available for you. So this includes management controls for each of these agents. And the types of agents that you will see here include, both Microsoft first-party agents as well as third-party agents, which we call external agents. There is also shared agents that are created by users within your organization and shared across other users within your organization. And very soon, coming soon, you will also be able to see the SharePoint agents that have been created and shared in your M365 ecosystem. So one place where everybody could, admins could go and take a look at their, the set of all agents that are available for them. The page has been built with, easy search and filtering options so that you're able to quickly get to the type of agent that you want to take a look at. So that's great news. And then moving on to the next page, what can we do in terms of agent inventory, and what are the types of details that an admin can actually take a look at? So each of these, agents that are available in the agent inventory comes with a very rich set of metadata information that is available for your disposal. You're going to see the name, the icon, the description, the host products, what sort of app type it is, the publisher, all of the very basic information that will give you an overview of what this agent is about. But not only that, in addition to that, you'll also be able to see what are the capabilities that this agent has been, configured or set up to do. So any built-in custom configurations, capabilities such as the ability to do a web search or, knowledge, OneDrive and SharePoint sites, as well as what connectors were used to pull in the data for the agents. All of that information would be available for you in your fingertips. And then, of course, data sources, right? Like was a OneDrive or a SharePoint file, used to configure, or was it, just a graph connector, or was it, uploaded files that were used as knowledge sources for creating the agent? And then custom actions, if there are any custom actions configured, those would also be available for you to know. So the admin is sort of equipped now with very good understanding of what the particular agent is doing, and therefore can take the types of decisions that they would need to take in terms of be it installing or making it available, publishing it to the store, so on and so forth. So moving on to the next slide, we'll talk about, this screen, we'll talk a little bit about how, the agent scope and availability can be set. As I was mentioning, with all of the rich metadata that, is available at your disposal, you can also, the admin can take the decision to really manage and say, who can install, which are the users who can install an agent, the specific agent from the store, or not, by changing the user's availability about the agents, right? So over here, there are two options that you would see in the screen. One is the ability for users for admins to be able to manage who can install from the store. The second one talks about deployment, which in this case means that admins can take the decision to go ahead and install an agent in Copilot Chat for a user to use in your tenancy, right? So you have these two great options of controlling, how you want these agents to be available for your end users. And as always, there are a few, three options, right? Like you can set it to all users or just a specific set of users or not. So that's the scoping ability for availability that is available. Moving on to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit more about blocking agents, right? So let's say IT admins, you have also the ability to go ahead and block agents. This again is all available, on the per agent level, actions that an admin can take in the agents and connectors page, right? So IT admins can basically go to the agents and connectors section, again, the agent inventory filter, and be able to go and take these block actions if they want. Right now, today, metadata for shared agent info, such as, who's the creator, the number of users with access, which is fantastic to know, right? You don't want to, if it's a very super popular agent, for example, you really do want to double check to make sure that, that action, the block action is something that you want to do, and so on and so forth. And then coming soon, like I mentioned in previously in my presentation, SharePoint agents are also going to be available in your inventory. So you'll be able to, take these actions that we mentioned, right there itself. And then moving on to the next slide, admins can also take delete actions on these agents. So IT admins, can completely go and delete or remove the agents created from, Copilot Studio Agent Builder, or be it from, M365 Agent Toolkit. And you can do all of these things right here from, from your M365 Admin Center under the Agents and Connectors tab as well. So those are the great, sort of actions or important critical actions that our admins needed to take on agents, and all of those controls are available for them in M365 Admin Center. Moving on to the next page, we'll talk a little bit about a very specific scenario. Now, this is something that has always come up during a lot of customer conversations, and the scenario that customers have shared with us that, hey, what happens when the creator or users who have created these agents are no longer a part of the organization? How do we manage them? And so we are planning to build a set of features for the management of what we call these ownerless agents. And we have made it very easy for the IT admin to discover them and also provide them the ability to reassign these agents to a different owner so that your business processes are not, being affected. So this is a feature that is coming soon in July, but effectively it will allow you, it'll give you the visibility into these sort of ownerless agents, and admins can take the action to go ahead and assign these to the appropriate, owner. Typically this tends to be the manager, but they also have the ability to assign to other users within the organization. And this is coming soon in July. Awesome. Moving on to the next slide, there is, shared agents and details. So we are going to continue to sort of add, more of these details as we, that we spoke about, as and when, is available. You'll also be able to see, see things such as, audits and audit trails and compliance, etc., that might have happened on the application as a part of the agent, as a part of the agent onboarding process. So you should be able to see, what sort of certifications that might have been done by the creator, the agent creator themselves, and other rich metadata that will give you the confidence to be able to decide what you want to do with those agents. So we'll have more of that coming soon. Moving on to the next slide. We spoke a lot about agent management. I want to quickly flip our our conversation to how do admins set up pay-as-you-go, right? So back in March, we introduced a new setting in Copilot Control Systems, and this is called a setup pay-as-you-go. And that would be your starting point for a journey that allowed you to go set up consumption-based billing for your organization. Now, what is consumption-based billing and where could you use it, right? Consumption-based billing is a pay-as-you-go sort of a billing, consumptive billing model. This is primarily in the scenario where you have a set of unlicensed users, meaning users who do not have a Copilot license, but yet you do want them to leverage the power of agents, tenant-grounded agents specifically, that were created by other users in your organization or, in general, other agents. How would you do that? You want to truly test out and see, you want them to use those, right? So those are the scenarios where you would go ahead and set up pay-as-you-go for your organization. And for those set of users, who you deem would require that and would benefit from that capability, right? So that's the background around pay-as-you-go. And as we go to the next slide, back in March, we had introduced the ability for users to go and enable pay-as-you-go at an org level. So it was an all or nothing switch, where you would go and enable it for all the unlicensed users or none, right? So it was a very broad switch that we had introduced. But in May, we actually introduced a new concept called a billing policy. Now, what this billing policy concept does is this is based off of feedback that we received from our customers, who were talking about, hey, I would love for admins to have the ability to control which groups of users have the ability to take on the pay-as-you-go model, right? So they just wanted the ability, for example, for the HR department, and only the HR department and groups of users in that department should have the ability to go on the pay-as-you-go model. So they wanted that sort of user level and group level control of enabling PAYG. The second problem that they brought to mind to us was that departments was that they would love to divvy up or divide the billing into multiple Azure subscriptions. And in a large enterprise, it's very typical for large enterprises to have multiple sort of Azure subscriptions. And they also wanted to have departmental billing, right? Like a finance department, they would have one, set of Azure subscription and billing, while the other, HR department or engineering could have its own, and you could have, sort of a chargeback model and a separate sort of billing for each of these departments according to their budgets. So after hearing those sort of feedback, we decided to, introduce this new concept of billing policies. The billing policy would allow admins to go and create these a billing policy per department. So you could go and create a HR department billing policy and select a security group that represents the users belonging to the HR department and go and enable PAYG for them. So in a simple 3-step process. This is today available under the Copilot Control Systems, under billing and usage. As you could see on the screen, it's a separate node, which is where you could go and get started, and you could set up all of these things so that you can get going on your pay-as-you-go setup. Great. So we'll see a short video about what I mentioned here. Go ahead.
Billing for Copilot Chat just got smarter. You can now create billing policies that not only track usage by department or group, but they also give you control over who gets access to Copilot Chat. This means costs stay on track, and only the right users are included in pay-as-you-go billing. Here's how to set it up. Start by going to Copilot, Billing and Usage, and then select Add a Billing Policy. Give your policy a name, choose the right subscription details, and then select Next. Pick the group this policy applies to, select Next, and then Create Policy. Now, head over to the Pay-as-you-go Services tab, choose Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat, select the billing policy, and then hit Save. That's it. You're now ready to manage access and track spending. Let's take a look at how this helps you. It starts with smarter cost tracking. Each department is billed for what they use, making it simple and clear. Control over access. Easily turn Copilot Chat on or off for specific groups. Reusable by design. Create your billing policies once, then apply them across different Copilot services. No need to start from scratch. Billing policies are simple to set up, easy to manage, and built to make your Copilot experience even better.
Great. Thanks. And as we move on, we've made the setup of these billing policies, as simple and intuitive as possible, so that users have this group level control of who gets to see or enabled for pay as you go. Now, with that said, the next question that admins would always have is, how do I take a look at, what is the costs incurred, for my Azure subscription or billing policy? And so today, users can do this by going over to the cost management page, which is under the billing section, and users will be able to see how much has been, cost or, consumption has happened, for their specific scenario. There are other ways and means to get the same information as well, because the solution leverages Azure billing. You can also go to Azure billing if that is something that you're more familiar with, and take a look at the invoices, bills, as well as the various great views, rich views that are available to understand cost in the Azure billing portal for the resource group that you had previously sort of mentioned when you had set up pay-as-you-go billing. Great. So moving on to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about the use case where that we have heard loud and clear about, which is, hey, I really want to make sure that that admins have the ability to set budgets and spending limits, so that there is no sort of there's this runaway scenario of one user overusing or really using a lot of an agent and basically blowing through the budget. So we clearly heard that feedback, and so we are planning to introduce what we're calling budget and spending limits, and this is coming soon in July. This feature will allow the admin to be able to set dollar limits for at a billing policy level, right? So for example, the HR department billing policy that you had previously created, now you can go ahead and set a limit of, let's say, $100,000 a month for for that particular department. You also get to configure, what is the sort of enforcement controls that would happen, when these budget limits are hit. So you have the ability to do either what we called a soft limit set, where the admin would be notified of, when the budget limits are hit, or you could do the, we're planning to introduce a feature where there would be a harder, sort of limit behavior that will be hit, in which case we the service, the agent would be suspended, or we would basically suspend PAYG service on those agents, right? This is based off of feedback from our customers who've been telling us that, there could be critical agents that are necessary and really need to be run. And in those circumstances, admins would want more of the softer sort of notification, while, in certain other cases, they would just say, nope, we just want PAYG to be suspended at the billing policy level. So we're planning to introduce both of those, provide that level of control for our admins. And then, I think that is coming soon. Like I mentioned, it's going to be available in preview sometime in July. Moving on to the next slide, one of the top asks from all of our users obviously is, hey, how do I look into, what sort of usage has been happening right across, both the agent space as well as pay-as-you-go. So great news is that, as mentioned in the video as well, we do have usage reports for declarative agents as well as for consumption-based billing. So the agents page in M365 Copilot usage reports, it has been, sort of generally available since January this year. Usage of agents that are scoped to users who have M365 Copilot license and are interacting with declarative agents in M365 Copilot. And the report really today provides some basic tenant level, user level, and also agent level metrics for agents that are, that are existing and that are built for your organization. So that report is available. And then moving on to the next slide, you also have the ability to view agent usage. In Q2, we are previewing a new report that is addressing some of the top asks that we have heard from our customers about agent metrics. So this would include, single views for agents, agent usage across both licensed as well as unlicensed M365 Copilot users. There will be some drill downs for which agents are used, by which, for used by which users in your organization. And then we will also have some lower latency for data updates. So which is super exciting for us. It's you'll have fresher data sooner rather than later. And then moving to the next slide, one of the other top asks was, hey, I would love to understand better how many messages have been consumed, by these consumption-based agents. And so in May, we previewed a new report to help admins manage agent costs for the build messages that are PAYG enabled for Copilot Chat. And so with this report, you will have actually near real-time alerts for high consumption users who have exceeded a certain number of build messages over the last 30 days, right? So you will actually get an alert saying, agent Y has consumed more than, let's say, 2,000 build messages in the last 30 days, which is about, a $20 value of the M365 Copilot license. And so that's a useful alert for admins to get, and perhaps also consider taking a decision of whether they would rather have that user have a full Copilot license or continue to keep them in the pay-as-you-go model. The report also provides you the ability to both export and share with admins. And so you could do that as well. Awesome. So with all of that, we have come to the end of our talk on Copilot Agent Management and Controls in M365 Admin Center. Over to you, James, to take us to the finish line.
Excellent. Thanks, Ganesh. Appreciate it. Yes, so as we look to wrap up here, I wanted to close on this slide to help bring the concepts we've discussed back to where we started across end users, makers, and also IT. We've covered the different types of available agents in Microsoft 365, and that CCS in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center will be able to manage all of those Microsoft 365 agents. We've reviewed the core agent management controls that are now easier to find and use, and you've learned how to set up and manage pay-as-you-go billing for agents. And now you are very well positioned for the remaining series of talks this morning. So at the top of the hour, I think Asaf will share how to empower Copilot Studio makers with enterprise governance and cost controls. Then Mike and Sama will dive into Copilot Analytics, showing how to measure adoption, usage, and impact. And finally, Caruana will be offering real-world strategies for enabling collaboration and AI adoption across your teams with FA closing. It's a packed morning full of insights to help you operationalize Copilot with confidence and clarity. And with that, I'll hand it back to FA, and I believe we're going to be doing some Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, James and Ganesh. Great presentation. I really appreciate the insights. We have a few questions here from the audience, so we'll just get going with the first one. And that is, how should we think about governance boundaries between the Microsoft Admin Center and the Power Platform Admin Center when managing agents created by different personas?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Both the M365 Admin Center as well as the Power Platform Admin Center are all part of the CCS fabric when it comes to governing our agents. As you all know, in the Power Platform, it has a very strong affinity with agents and makers who create their agents through the Copilot Studio. And are able to publish it through both the M365 channels or various different other channels that are available out there. The M365 Admin Center is going to be we are positioning this as the place for M365 admins to be able to go and manage all agents that are and will be used in the M365 Copilot and the M365 environment, right? So irrespective of where they are created, be it through Copilot Studio or be it through the Teams toolkit or be it through the agent builder experience that is available today through Copilot Chat, all of these, irrespective of where they're created, admins, M365 admins can rest assured that any agents that are used in M365 can be managed through a single place, which is through the M365 Admin Center. So I would say that is the way to sort of think about. So one way to think about it would be for all things M365 and the management of those, certainly work through M365 Admin Center. And on the other hand, for the more complex, perhaps multi-channel and other channels that you might have, and you want to control your agents that were published through those other channels, for now, PowerPack or PPAC or the Power Platform Admin Center would be a good choice for you to go to.
Awesome. Thank you, Ganesh. Next question we have here is, what is the recommended approach for handling agents that span multiple departments or business units, considering elements like billing, data access, and ownership?
Yeah, no, this is a great question, and this absolutely sort of touches upon the important customer ask for departmental billing, right? This goes to the heart of the presentation that where I mentioned about departmental billing. The general guidance and sort of best practice that we advocate is that admins go ahead and set up these per department level billing policies, one for each of these departments and the users or groups of users who are a part of that billing policy. You are then able to, like I mentioned, with some of the upcoming tools, you're then able to go ahead and control, what are the which of these users or groups have access to pay-as-you-go billing, right? At that billing policy level, you're able to set limits, etc. as well. You do need to do this across, each of these billing policies, which would be one per department. And then coming soon, we also want to introduce an agent level pivot to all of this, right? Because we do recognize that users also want a combination of, both agent level, agent plus, department or group level control. Say, for example, there is agent X that has been introduced by the HR department, and they really want that specific agent to only be available, and let's say it's in preview, right? So they are testing it out. They only want that to be available for just the HR department, and so they want an agent. This is an example of an agent plus a group level control that they want to administer, and we are working on providing that combination as well. So now that we have the billing policy or group level controls, the next level that you would see is both agents plus users. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Thank you, Ganesh. And I believe you touched on this in your presentation, but I think one of the audience members wants to know about, how do we ensure continuity for business critical agents when their original creators have left the organization, thinking about things like reassigning ownership and maintaining workflows?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is super important, and this is where I touched upon this topic of ownerless agents and the management of those in M365 Admin Center, again as a part of inventory management. So one of the best possible scenario now is, or the next upcoming feature in July is going to be the ability to show our admins what are these set of ownerless agents, right? So and so that'll be the very first step, so that admins are aware of what these things are when they're not, they do not have an owner to them, and then we do want to provide admins the ability to reassign these agents to whoever they think would be the right new owner for them. This could and so I think that is the next set of features that we want to introduce going forward, as and when we based on feedback and other things from our customers, we'll decide if we would want to introduce further automation to this, right? Like, say, for example, typically these agents could also be sort of assigned or auto assigned to the manager of the person who is leaving the organization. So we do have plans of figuring out if we do want to introduce those types of automations as we evolve some of these scenarios. And I'll just quickly add a couple other scenarios as well. I think the ability to sort of do soft deletions, etc., or even hard deletions. Soft deletions meaning after 90 days it sort of deletes, removed out of our inventory, and so on and so forth. These are also capabilities that we are considering overall as a part of this scenario.
Awesome, thank you. And we have one last question here, and they're asking, do you have any guidance for setting meaningful budget thresholds and alerting policies that balance cost control with uninterrupted agent access?
Yes. I mean, and this is again going back to, we absolutely recognize how it's important for admins to be able to control and manage how they want to be able to react when budgetary thresholds are hit, right? So it starts with two-step process. One would be provide admins the ability to provide budgets and or define limits and thresholds at the billing policy or department level. And then secondly, admins get to decide how they want, what sort of behavior they want once the thresholds are hit, right? Like, do you want these an alert to be sent to you, or do you really want to completely disable PAYG so that there is no further cost that is being incurred, right? Admins have the power and the flexibility to decide on what behavior they want, and this would be something that the admins can decide based off of what agents they deem are critical and which ones aren't, right? So you have the power and you have the ability to make that decision for yourself. They could be a number of agents that your organization would have created that only you would know are business critical, and therefore you need to have you need to be empowered. You as the admin needs to be empowered to be able to take those decisions.
Awesome. Thank you, Ganesh. And that is our last question. So Ganesh, James, thank you for your time and for your insights into managing Copilot agents with confidence and really balancing innovation with that operational control. So thank you again. And this is the close of the session. For those in the audience, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you all.
Thank you.